learners. Welcome to Video Khazana. Once again, I welcome you in our channel Video Khazana. If you like our videos, so please subscribe our channel so that we can provide you more educational videos. Okay, so let's start our today's session on topic Human Digestive System, Class 10th Science Bio, Chapter 6 Life Processes. First of all, I want to tell you about the types of digestive systems. There are two types of digestive system: incomplete digestive system and complete digestive system. Incomplete digestive system is very common among invertebrates. There is only a single opening for the ingestion of food, means there is no anus present. Only mouth is there. Second type, complete digestion. This is common in among nematodes, annelids, mollusks, echinoderms, and vertebrates. This type has digestive tube with two openings, a mouth and an anus. So, we will talk about the human digestive system. The nutrition in human beings takes place through human digestive system. This is a human digestive system in which mouth is there, salivary glands in mouth, tongue is present in the mouth, then epiglottis, food enters into esophagus through this epiglottis. This is esophagus, and food enters in the stomach, that is a J-shaped structure, and this stomach opens into small intestine, and this is orange colored shape coiled structure. You can see this is a small intestine, and this small intestine opens into large intestine, and this is green structure, broader structure is large intestine. And last part of the large intestine is rectum, and it opens into anus. Last point, anus. Beginning point, mouth. Last point, anus. So human digestive system has two parts: alimentary canal and associated glands. Alimentary canal means digestive tract. We call it gut also. And associative glands, there are so many glands. We will discuss these glands. Various organs of alimentary canal from mouth to anus, and we will discuss the glands which are associated with various glands. First of all, various parts of the alimentary canal, that is organs of the alimentary canals. First of all, first is mouth, then esophagus. We call esophagus as food pipe also. Then stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Now glands. First is salivary glands, that are present in mouth. Second, liver, and then pancreas. Nutrition in human beings. You can see in this picture, mouth is taking in food. Mouth is taking in food. It is reaching in the esophagus, then stomach to intestine, small intestine to large intestine, and exited. So, in human beings, nutrition is holozoic nutrition. So, it has 5 steps: ingestion, that is done through mouth; digestion, which is done in stomach and small intestine, basically in small intestine; absorption, which is done in small intestine; assimilation, that is done by blood in each part of the body; and ingestion, that is the last step through anus, and digested food is thrown out. We will discuss it. Now I want to tell you the correct measurement of the digestive tract, alimentary canal. The human digestive tract is a long coiled muscular tube that stretches from the mouth to anus, and its complete length from mouth to anus is about 9 meter long. From mouth to anus, it is This food tube or this alimentary canal is about 9 meters long. Here is mouth, then pharynx, then esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. Mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and then anus. Now, we will discuss the specialized regions where digestion takes place. First is mouth. Food processing begins in the mouth. Second is esophagus. The bite food is then swallowed and is moved through the pharynx into the esophagus. Then food is mechanically and enzymatically digested in the stomach. After esophagus, next organ is stomach, that is a J-shaped structure. Then small intestine. Most enzymatic digestions takes place in this small intestine. Then large intestine. It eliminates waste, leading to the opening for the elimination of waste called anus. So large intestine is the last part of the alimentary canal, which also has its basic parts and on anus. Now ingestion, that is the first process of nutrition. Food is ingested through mouth. Digestion in mouth. Mouth begins in the digestion in mouth. Basically, digestion begins in the mouth itself. Mouth cavity contains teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. First of all, teeth that helps in physical digestion, that chew foods and break down into small pieces. Then salivary glands. In our mouth, they produce saliva. This saliva is a watery liquid, so it weights the food in our mouth. Many times we eat our favorite food. Have you observed our mouth waters? This is actually saliva secreted by salivary glands. This saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase, which digests the starch present in the food into sugar. Starch into sugar. Thus, digestion of starch begins in mouth itself, but it is not a complete digestion. Then tongue, that helps in mixing the saliva with food. So wetted food can be swallowed more easily due to the saliva. So slightly digested food goes through the mouth to esophagus and reaches to the stomach due to the peristaltic movement. Now, what is peristaltic movement? Actually, peristaltic movement is the contraction and expansion movements of the wall of the food pipe, of the wall of the esophagus. Now, digestion in stomach. After digestion in mouth, food reaches through esophagus into stomach. Food is churned in the stomach for about 3 hours. The glands present in the stomach wall secretes gastric juice. This gastric juice contains HCl, pepsin, and mucus. HCl is an acid, means hydrochloric acid. Pepsin is an enzyme, and mucus is also there. Actually, pepsin is an enzyme which works in acidic environment, and HCl provides this acidic environment to pepsin. Pepsin enzyme digests protein. Understood? In the acidic medium, enzyme pepsin start the digestion of protein present in the food to form smaller molecules. Then mucus. This mucus protects this stomach walls from its secretions of HCl. HCl is an acid which harms the stomach walls, but due to the presence of mucus, this is not able to reach the wall of the stomach. So, mucus protects the wall of the stomach through HCl harmful effects. So partially digested food from stomach goes into the small intestine, and this is regulated by the sphincter muscles. Sphincter muscles releases it in small amount into the small intestine. Now food reaches in the small intestine. Now digestion begin in the small intestine. Small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal, which is about 6.5 meter long in an adult. Yes, it is a very long tube, but we call it small. Why? Because it is very narrow. It is arranged in the form of coil in our belly. One more important point I want to discuss with you, that small intestine is differs in length. It depends on animal to animal. Like herbivores who eat plants which contain cellulose, which is difficult to digest. Yes, so in these animals small intestine is long, but in carnivorous animals it is shorter because meat is easier to digest comparative to cellulose. Now small intestine receives the secretion from two glands. First is liver, then second is pancreas. Liver produces bile, which is a mixture of bile juice and bile salt. Bile juice makes the food alkaline. Why? Because food which enters in the small intestine from stomach is having acidic medium, but pancreatic juices requires a medium, basic medium, alkaline medium. So bile juice provide the alkaline medium. Bile salt break the large fat globules into small pieces. Means large fat molecules broken down into small molecules, and this process is called emulsification. And one more organ, that is called gallbladder. This gallbladder stores the bile juice, bile salt. Now we are talking about the pancreas, which secretes pancreatic juice, which contains pancreatic amylase, trypsin enzyme, and lipase enzyme. These three enzymes are present in pancreatic juice. Trypsin enzyme breaks down the protein into amino acids. Lipase enzyme breaks down emulsified fat. This emulsified fat is broken down into fatty acids and glycerol by lipase enzyme. And pancreatic amylase enzyme, which digests starch. It converts starch into glucose. Now, absorption of food. Main reason of absorption of food is small intestine. Digested molecules of food can be absorbed by the wall of the small intestine, because after digestion, food particles or food molecules become so small that they can be easily absorbed by the blood capillaries present around the small intestine, and it goes into the blood. Inner surface of small intestine has millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi. Here is the picture of a cross section of small intestine. Here are finger-like projections in the inner wall of the small intestine. These finger-like projections are very, very beneficial to absorb food. Presence of villi gives a very large surface area to inner wall of intestine for rapid absorption of digested food. So digested food is absorbed by using these villi. Now assimilation. Absorbed and dissolved food reaches to every part of the body through the bloodstream, where it becomes assimilated as part of the cell and used for obtaining energy as well as growth and repair. Extra digested food is stored in the liver in the form of carbohydrates called glycogen. Means whatever food is required, that is absorbed, but complete absorbed food is not used in doing various activities. Extra food is stored in liver in the form of glycogen. So stored glycogen can be used by the body as a source of energy as and when required, or we can say in fasting conditions our body uses this glycogen to get energy. So this stored glycogen is a source of energy in our body. Now last step, digestion. Digestion is a process which is done in large intestine. Food after absorption reaches into large intestine, from the small intestine to large intestine, which is wider tube. This large intestine absorb most of the water using the villi, because villi are also present in large intestine. They absorb most of the water. After absorption of this water, undigested food becomes solid, and this undigested food stored in large intestine, last part of the large intestine, rectum. From this part, rectum, it is digested when we go toilet. Then this undigested food is passed out or digested from our body through anus as feces. This food is digested through anus as feces or stool. This process of expelling the feces is called digestion. This exit of feces, this is controlled by anal sphincter. Through anal sphincter, this waste product, waste unabsorbed food comes out. So this is a complete digestion process. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked my video, please share it to your friends so that they can also take benefit of this information, this knowledge. Okay, I will appear next time with the next topic, respiration. So till then, bye bye. Thank you.